Here he goes. So what we have is Indian Debating League, IPL of debating. Before that, let's sort of welcome our partners. So we have 8 partners across the India: ISDS, FAMPay, Tutela, Tinkerly, Open House, which kind of help us in putting this all together. Now, before that, as Anjali ma'am sort of iterated the point, I'm just reiterating. Please name yourself. So when you ask questions or when you have any query, our team is able to recognize that which class need more further reference, more sort of training. Please be mute, because if you start speaking, then the other will not able to follow the content. So if you have any doubt, please put in the chat. We will take each and every question and we will share our contact details. So we are there up to say 24/7. And then last, we will take your questions. We are here to primarily, this is debating 101. We will talk about debating. What is debating? That's primarily what is the flow of the art. We will look at the schedule. What are the training material, round 1, round 2, round 3 and onwards, the scheduling of it, the learning resources, especially for the younger ones, 4 to 6th grade, what and where they should read from, what are the topic that are gonna come from, and then we will go directly to the one-on-one of debating. Correct. The techniques of debate that as any sort of debater you need to know. Correct. And then further onwards, correct, from the next masterclass, we will invite person from overseas. They will take the masterclass. But today gonna be the battle, the common ground, which will set your foundation for the further master classes. And then obviously we need to understand that how you will get judges in the further rounds, round 1, round 2, round 3. So we will look at the rules and rubrics of the evaluation, and then ultimately what you will receive if you really go to the top. With that, let's move to the Indian Debating League. Be on mute. That's the first rule. So Indian Debating League, as you've already registered, so let me reiterate, is the highest debating pedestal in India. What we are looking is primarily cultivating a debating environment across the India. So students from each state is coming and trying to represent their state. And then eventually states are competing against one another. And what we're going to discuss about, the themes matter. We're going to look at UN SDGs topic, and you can see all these 17s down there at the bottom, and you will find content in the learning resources for each SDGs that I'm going to mention. More importantly, look, we believe as a company, we believe as ideal that all these SDGs are quite important to achieve. These are goals that need to be achieved in the upcoming 10 years. What we're going to debate is not that should we achieve these SDGs or not, but what is the way out? What is the way out for a state to achieve those goals? How to get out of poverty as a country, and eventually how to achieve peace on a global level. So we're going to debate the paths to achieve those SDGs. Schedule, again, I'm reiterating the schedule. 1 is going to be the registration. All of you who are here are primarily have registered. That's why you are part of this. So that you have sort of referred to. I will come to the other programs. Round 1 has 2 parts. One is the training session.
If I may just add over here for the students, the fact is that we were looking at registrations till only the month of August, but only for this exclusive group, we are going to only allow you to invite your friends. There are 2 things that are going to happen during the course of this debating tournament. One is that you will be representing your state. But the point is that you are also people who are standing for the fact that your voice matters. So we do have a debating ambassador program where if you're referring 3 students or 3 entries that come in via you, we are looking at making sure that you get an ambassador certificate. 5 references coming in from you get you an e-badge and gold certificate, and 15 plus entries, but I will restrict it to only 3 or 4 students will get internship opportunities at Ogli. And I'm speaking to the high schoolers here when I use the word internship. The important part is not for saying whether you get the entries. The important part is that how do we as a team of 170 people on the call make sure that we are increasing or improving the quality of the debate that we undertake. So all of you, in that sense, please focus. If you think that some of your friends are left behind to come and participate, feel free to extend it. But only out of this group can you extend it, okay? We were not going to open it out in the open for now. So Kamal, that is my round 0 submission. Please carry on with explaining round 1 and onwards.
As I mentioned, that the round 1 has 2 parts. One is the training part, which is starting from today, going till 13th of September. We have already shared the schedule through the email, and I will share as part of the PPT. presentation that I'm putting across. And then the second part is going to be the first round itself, where you will debating with your peers and trying to get your state teams. That's going to be from 13th to 21st of September. We will pick particular SDGs. You will get, which theme to debate on, and 1 day prior, I'm mentioning again, 1 day prior, you will get the time, date, and schedule where you will get to, come at that particular point of time and need to debate with your peer. Round two, after 21st September, we will announce the result on 21st itself, where will we form the teams of particular states, and those states then in the upcoming 7 to 10 days will debate with your peers. Interstate debating championship, that's going to be round two. And out of 36 teams across the India, 28 states and 8 union territories, we're going to select the 4 teams. It's going to be a knockout session, and the 4th will debate in front of the world's best debater. That's the round 3. And the 2nd October, Gandhi Jayanti, we're going to do the mega session. That's going to be the mega event with a lot of major people coming from across the world, including the best coaches that we have, who have won their team in World School Debating Championship and other. And the team over there going to be, the final team. So that's the schedule of Ideal. And just to let you know, so we have 3 CAs earlier, Harish, Branch, Sharmila. We have also added Dhruva as one of our, CA, Chief Adjudicator, and he is a alumni of Harvard, currently at Oxford, and he's the one who kind of was the hook behind India winning the World School Debating Championship in 2019 when he was the coach of the Indian team. And all the 4 names has some kind of medals in behind their back, so they are quite world-class debaters. We're looking forward that you interacting with them, getting feedback from them, that how you go forward, not just winning this particular debate, but the subsequent debate or subsequent public speaking that you do, and they helping you out and achieve your goals, your motto. With that, let me reiterate.
Before we just go forward, I just go back onto the other screen. I'm just going to keep answering the questions that are coming very nicely in a dignified way on the chat group. I do have one of the, Himesh, I think, was asking me that how do I sort of tell you who I've referred? When your friend has been referred, when they've made the payment for the Ideal, just ask them to take that screenshot. You can WhatsApp it to our number, or you can just drop an email to us, right? That's how we will figure out who's referred whom. Okay, so I've just answered that question on the chat also for all of it. I think this was asked by Himnesh Bangya. Okay, so feel free to do that. The other question that Kamal was coming in was to say that Shriparna Sandhu from 8C is asking how many qualifiers will be there after the first round. Could you help her with that?
Sure. So in the round 1, you will play 3 matches. So as an individual, you will get 3 one-on-one matches.
Yes. So let's just stay for a little over here. So here is so sir is just going to explain to you what does one match mean. Okay. So, but the point is that we want to make sure when you registered for the Ideal, you are not getting eliminated with one conversation. You are getting 3 matches. So maybe imagine me and Kamal were debating. I'm doing a 3-minute speech. He's doing a 3-minute speech, and we go forward. So we'll take you through the structure of that debate, which is the first round that you should worry about in the qualifier. Okay. I do see a question on 3:3 debating or Asian parliamentary debating. We will not be taking these questions today because this next set of master classes, we can use that to answer that. Right now, all of you should be focusing completely on how should I get through my round 1, because you all are registered, right? So round 1, focus on the training, attend all the master classes, practice argumentative writing on Ogly. We'll tell you how to do it, and just practice your own 3-minute speeches. That 3-minute obviously ranges from a 3-minute for a grade 4 to 6. It ranges to a 5-minute for a grade 7 to 9, and it ranges to a 7-minute for a grade 10 to 12, right? Because I can see a variation of children on the call. Kamal, over to you. We can keep moving forward.
Yeah, as Anjali mentioned.
Yeah, can you just all put your questions on the chat group also? We'll keep picking it up.
Yeah, so as Anjali mentioned that please focus on the round 1. Anyone who reached to round 2, we will give them training. So you will have subsequent training for the round 2. Round 2 means you reach to a particular level. You will get further training with your state coaches. So no worries about that. Please focus here. Get to the round one. We winning there. You will reach to round two. You will get further orientation training.
Yeah, just I do have some questions from children coming in terms of exams going on. I can see Aryan is asking, I can see Devyana is asking. My only suggestion is discussing this on this call might not be possible. I am dropping to you our email ID. Just drop us a note as we prepare the schedules, which will be from 15th September onwards. We will be able to go back and say which child has requested for which dates or has told us when the exam is. Can you all see the email ID I have put? hello@ogly.ai. Just drop us an email that, ma'am, these are my exam dates. Can you take this into consideration? It's not a very difficult thing to do. Okay? Okay. Archit, we are already training. You are on your first this thing. Okay. Only on the chat, please. No opening your mics for now. Okay? Okay. So coming to you, San.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah. So sorry, I didn't realize when I went on mute, but I'm just saying that all of you just post your questions only on the chat group. I am just putting the Hello Ogly email ID over there in case you have any requests for your exams. Perfect. Carry on, Kamal. Let's go.
Excuse me, ma'am.
No, only on the chat, please. Whoever that
I
is.
wrote 4 times, ma'am. There was no reply.
Okay, so then you drop me a quick email. If you're the person who's asking, I'm not able to understand, we'll take a separate chat on that. Okay, Fadbi, don't put the exam dates over here, please. Please put the email to us. Okay, Kamal, so coming to the masterclass schedule, you're already on the session 1. So let's go through the topics that we want to discuss. The combination of these masterclasses are between theory and demo. So tomorrow we are going to do a demo debate. We can move next, Kamal.
Yeah, so you can see for the each demo debate, we will be inviting the particular category, whether it is 7 to 9th, 4 to 6th, or 10 to 12th. So you get subsequent, topic which will come to you. It's not like, obviously the topic will differ from category 1 to category 2. So you should come with the debates which is happening for your category. So tomorrow it's going to be 7 to 9th, zero hunger.
Perfect. Let's go.
Now the key points of preparation. There are themes which are quite that we will are primary for this debate, ideal as compared to the all 17 one. You can take them down and already there in the email. Second, that we have created learning resources for every one of you, especially the reading one. So you can go to the Ogly app, download it out, and then go to the learning space section. You will see SDGs learning space. One, you will find reading material, because reading is the crucial thing, correct? Irrespective of the style that you have, what you need is primarily the arguments that has been made earlier. It's really, really impossible even for the world's best debater to create something on the fly. Your reading, your knowing the world, it's the most important thing when you are debating or when you are presenting anything, connecting the dots. And before connecting the dots, you need to know the dots, and dots are reading material. And that's why I've tried to create the best reading material on the Ogly app. You can download, go to the reading section, look at the articles, do play quizzes over there, and there are also kind of debate topics. So try to absorb it, and then if you feel they are comfortable with, then move to internet, because obviously you can go in very depth, but first try to collect what we have curated for you. These material again, so kind of debates that we have done earlier, that are also going to be helpful. We will obviously circulate it back to you, and then you can see what else can be done. Say economics time, the Economist, Voxcards text. You will receive those all reading resources as part of your email material that we will circulate to you by likely tomorrow.
Yeah, Kamal, I'll just address a few questions and some things that are coming on the chat. Aradhya, grade 5, please worry about 3 versus 3 debating later. Right now, focus on your one-on-one debating that we are expecting you to prepare. Now, the fact is that on the learning resources, we have requested you to look at Ogly only if you are grade 7 and below. 8th grader and onwards, we expect you to be reading and researching beyond an app, okay? Because you are able to sort of use YouTube or Google for your research. What we've done is out of 17 SDGs, we've obviously zeroed down into only 7 so that you don't have to read so much. As we go through the motion, we will keep reducing it. But for now, these are the 7 SDGs to focus. So the children who are below a 7th grade and downwards can go to Ogly app and try it. What we will do is after this session, don't worry about it. These pages will be circulated to you. We'll put it on a drive and we will shoot out the link so you can refer to it once more peacefully. Okay. So no worries on that one. The other bit that I wanted to mention quickly, Kamal, is one of the doubts that I saw. Yeah, so selection rounds, all of that we can come to a little later. Demo day conversation, Kamal sir will tell you tomorrow. SDGs stand for Sustainable Development Goals. Okay, that was for Serena Goswami. Yes, so yes, the Ogly, by the way, is for age 10 to 16. But for grade 8 onwards, we expect you to read a lot more than just restricting to the articles on Ogly. Carry on, Kamal. These resources that are mentioned on the next slide will be circulated to you. They were mailed to you earlier as well. But this is good curated material that we want you to see. There is a section on the Ogly gaming section, which is called argumentative writing. Kamal sir, by end of the day, will be loading a topic over there. Feel free to experiment how your peers rate your arguments. So you can go into argumentative writing on the Ogly app, and you will be able to see that a lot of people are able to like you, upvote you, give you feedback. Kamal, carry on.
Sure, you can see the screens.
Yeah, we can carry on. Yeah.
Now, just for the round one-on-one match, so each speaker can speak only for 3 minutes twice. How it will happen? So let's suppose me and Anjali are debating. I am speaking for the side, which is proponent, which is for the motion. Correct. I will come to the motion. Let's suppose there's a topic, and I am gonna speak for the motion. I will speak 3 minutes. Then the speak goes to the Anjali. She will speak for 3 minutes. Then now again my turn. I will speak for 3 minutes. Then back to Anjali. That's the format for round one. You will get 3 minutes twice. Adjudicators will not give you immediate feedback. You will receive cumulative score at the end of the round one, which will decide that, say, for Delhi State, which 4 players has been passed on to the state team, which has reached out of the state team. We will not be able to entertain, say, if you sort of disagree. Look, a lot of things are kind of subjective. It's not AI currently. It will see that you can agree, disagree with the adjudicator, but the idea of adjudicator is that that's the final authority. It's like Supreme Court over here. So we will agree, we will go with that person. Yes, and I guess rest is very much clear. We will give you a thumbs up when your time is over. The adjudicator, whoever is there, will let you know that your time has already up, after 3 minutes, and all the point that you make, if you make any new point, that will not be considered. If you are just finishing your argument, that's okay. That try to summarize it as soon as possible in the next 10 to 15 seconds, but do not make new argument after 3 minutes. That will not be counted.
Yes, and just to address a few questions, because some of the students are younger, we are doing a combined session for a change. Adjudicator is the person who judges how the debate is. So if you and your friend were debating, or you and your peer were debating, classmate were debating, then somebody has to judge. And that judging, Kamal sir is going to just tell you what comprises of that judgment. But the judge is called the adjudicator. Okay, that's what he's saying. His decision is final. If there are any doubts on the structure of this simple one-on-one debating, please feel free to use the group and put it right now, because we would love to sort of come back and give you some examples of it as well when we write that mail back to all of you. If you miss a masterclass, can you get a recording? Ideally, it's not fun to listen to the recording later, but we will make sure, at least for the students who are registered, you should be able to access it. The idea is to make sure that these master classes are interactive. It is not a sermon session in that sense. You are going to debate, Devesh, on all the topics on a Zoom call, right? And it is going to be one topic per person or per team as you go onwards. Yes, you will get the recording of the session and the PPT. Don't worry about that. Yes, of course, a 6th grader can use Ogly. You all will be able to download Ogly, but it is on a smartphone. It is on iOS and Android. You will be able to go to the Play Store and download it. Let's go. Let's go next.
So let's come the first thing. That's always the part of a debating. The topic, correct? We call them. We have different names for them. We call them motions. We call them topic. We call the agenda of the house. So assume that we are in a class, and today we're gonna decide what we're gonna discuss. So consider this as the title of the chapter that we're gonna debate or that we're gonna discuss. So that's the topic, motion. Whenever you heard the term motion, topic, agenda, that primarily are the same things. Now for the younger kids or who are debating for the first time, you will be referring the term this house, a lot of time. This house believe that, this house would do that, this house would ban that. The idea of a this house, that the formal debating that we do is primarily coming from the idea of a debate in a parliament. And this house is primarily when a government comes to the parliament, correct? There's a government and one, there is opposition. The government is the side who is kind of winning, is it the majority. They try to put a motion. They try that, because we want to do some kind of change in the world, or we believe that a change is needed, correct? Maybe, and it can be, say, providing free education to everyone. So government come with a motion, and which itself automatically means the government is in support of that motion. This house believes that all university education should be free. Now the government is saying that we will make a constitution amendment in the law to provide free education to everyone. So that means that the government is putting the agenda out to get the support from the people, from the other parties, to get education free. Now what the opponent will be do, the second party, which is opponent, they will kind of disagree with the motion, and then they have to give the rules why they believe so. So that's the two sides, for, against, proponent, opponent. They all are the same names. Yeah. And you can see kind of, this house believe that. So always refer like this house believe that is primarily coming from there.
So Kamal, one of the, just if you can just stay over there, after every time I'll just summarize what the students are asking. They're asking, so very sweetly, we have young children asking, what does house mean? Basically, it's an aggregation of individuals. It's an aggregation of people together. Aggregation is a difficult word. It's a group of people. It's a group of, people that you are speaking to, say, we all believe. So we could be a house. This house believes that university education should be free. So THBT, this house believes that, is a very standard debating term. That's why Kamal sir is using it so freely. This is for the younger students who are asking. Okay, I have clarified. Don't get distracted with ugly app right now. It is only an app, not on a tablet. Quick questions on that. I like Devesh's idea of creating a WhatsApp group. So let's do that in segments. So we can create one for 4 to 6 graders. We could create one for 7 to 9 and 10th to 12, because your directions will be different. They will be graded according to the age that you are in, right? Okay, now coming back to some questions that I heard on what are the timed of topics. He's giving you the sample of topics, but right now just focus on the goals. So we will give you that reading material. We will give you that guidance from time to time. So focus on the, listen to what sir is saying. A lot of answers are there as well. Okay. So Kamal, let's move forward. Are you going to do an exercise with all of them now?
Yeah. So what we're going to do, correct? First, we're going to look at the rules, the basic framework of debating, correct? Whenever you're debating, correct, a lot of you ask about the motions. Let's pick any motion, correct? The motion is that if there's a government, correct, that we will put education free. So currently you go to universities, that's paid, correct? There are free and there are paid one both. But now the government is saying that we will make it free. Now that is being debated in the parliament. That's like, debate happening. So what is debate 101? Correct. Whenever we are debating, the idea is that whatever the topic is, we have our opinion, correct? And we says we either is in the opposition or are, in the favor of that motion. Now, once we state that, then the idea is that we need to convince other side. We need to persuade them with our reasoning, with our, idea. What is our idea? And there is only two ways to actually win a debate, correct? One, you take it out why you believe so is good. That's very much lead from the front. You, without bothering what the other side is sort of stand is, you putting out your claim, your evidence, your reasoning, primarily backing on your ideas. and you proving that why do you believe so. Second is, once you've done that, the opposition will speak. Then you look at what opposition is saying, and then the idea is that you break down the arguments of the opposition. That's like the rebuttals, reply speech. So you take what they're speaking, you say that what they're speaking can't be, true, or it seems to be true, but in the real world it's just not applicable. Or there are a lot of laws, there are a lot of problems within that argument. There are a lot of fallacies within that argument. How to break that argument, that's your idea. That's the part two. And obviously, that's a relate, it's a circular reasoning. Now, first thing, when you are putting your argument, that this opponent will try to do the same for you. So be at this today, we're gonna focus on the first side, which is how to put good reasons, the rebuttals. Because it's quite a difficult topic, we will take in the next masterclass. Next masterclass is totally about rebuttals, reply speech. So you become active. And reply and rebuttal speech can only be done when you are very, very active, when you are listening properly to the opponents, because you have to weave in their argument and then you have to break it up. So today we're going to focus on the first part, that if we have the motion and we taking a stand, how to put it, how to prove it.
Yeah. So Kamal, just rounding up the questions that I'm hearing. One is the fact that we are not going to give the topics right now. We have just given you the 7 focus sustainable development goals. Read up about it, read up, use the app. If you are slightly above 8th grade, go ahead and read up. What we will start doing is we will keep narrowing down those SDGs. So we will go back after a week and say, now instead of 7, let's focus on 3. But for students, we will not be giving you topics immediately right now. Just wait till 7th September so that we can unveil it. Right? We can't give it to you right now. Kunal, we are obviously not doing rebuttals today. We'll do it tomorrow. Now, the other question that somebody asked is, a lot of you have come in from a same school together. So I know a lot of schools, so students from Ramagya have come in, and similarly for other schools. Here is the idea to be distributed across the teams, right? That's the fun part of it. So we will not look at school preference unless you put a specific request. We would love to sort of distribute it. Now, we had a lot of students asking us that, will I compete with the 5th class student if I'm a 5th class student? The fact is that we are looking at grade categories, right? Which means that you are a grade category between 4th to 6th. So when we make a team, once your qualifiers are open, when you are qualified for the first round, then we will make a team which comprises of a 4th to a 6th grader, right? So a 4th to 6th grader will not compete with a 7th to a 9th grader. They will not compete to a 10th to 12th grader because it's unfair, right? So when you are in a team of a 7th to 9th grader, you will compete with another team between a 7th to 9th grader. And obviously we are very fair in that sense that we will not have a team typically of 2 9th graders and 1 8th graders competing with 3 7th graders. Though that won't happen. Don't worry about these things. We are very good at it. We will make sure that we balance out the team so that everybody has a great chance of doing well on it. If I have missed out any of the questions that you all have pinged, just ping it down. Just repaste it. Otherwise, I think, Kamal, I'm done with the questions from the chat. I love the fact that this team and this group is very disciplined about it. There are no school teams, but we are not doing school. We are doing state over here. Okay, so we will mix the school teams to be able to do that. No, you cannot choose your teams and squads. Please allow us to do that, Vasudev. We will try to accommodate it looking at the exam cycle, but that won't be fair, right? To the format. So firstly, also the fact is that you all have to be able to qualify, right? So whether your friends will be able to qualify, not qualify, allow us to sort of come back to that. Okay, this house believes that is a good nomenclature to learn. That shows that you're a debater. Learn it, right? All right, whether you choose before or after a motion will come much later. Abhi, let's focus on the techniques. So Kamal sir right now is taking a master class. So focus on the techniques that he's telling you. Yes, Kamal sir, over back to you.
Sure. So I guess someone asked, what is debate 101? Debate 101 is primarily, it's putting out when you go to the colleges, the courses are designed this way. 101 means the basic of debating. So you could sort of make it different way. That's like basics of debating. That's 101. Now, the first sort of thing that when we are debating, we need to identify one thing. And before that, like jump to wars and battles. Now, I need to ask every one of you, when say for example, say Genghis Khan fight it, or say when Shivaji fight it, or say Chandragupta Maurya fight it with their opponents. What was the common thing among all these battles? What was the common thing about every battle in the world that happened? Say in India, Europe, Africa, Middle East. What is the common thing? Battle for the throne. People died. Yeah, yeah. Attack. That's good. There were always life lost. That's true. Can you consider one very intuitive, very basic thing? And I will tell you why it's important. It seems not into important, but it's very important when we are debating. All had a leader. That's kind of true, not true. You have heard of guerrilla wars. Sometimes there is no side for it. They all believe in their positions. Okay,
Wow, the
let
chat window
me
is on fire.
win conquers
Carry
and
on, Kamal.
four people died. Okay, I guess it's quite cool. Planning, the planning. I guess you all are very good. Correct. It seems like all of them are important. Like everyone, I can't really miss. Fights, obviously, we are talking about wars in battle. But very intuitively, when we were fighting, early days, even today, the fight, a battle, a war means that the two sides coming to a single ground. They have a common battleground. They need to reach a same place. They are not, one is in Europe, one is India. That's not like war we understood. War is that they both coming on a single ground, whether it's say Iran versus any country, whether it was Japan versus someone, they coming together to a particular place and fighting. That's like common battleground. Now, what's important here? When we are debating, when we are physically fighting, correct? The earlier days, the wars and the battles, they used to come together and sort of fight each other on a common battleground. In case of debate, we assume that the topic we have, so we will be debating on the same motion, but it doesn't happen. Lot of time, correct, you will see, I will tell you the example and that we will look upon, that my understanding of a topic. So for example, if you given a topic and what you as an opponent or as a foresight believes just about the topic itself can differ from the other side. That's why the first point, you need to decide the words. There are some words which are crucial. Some words are subjective. Some words are very objective. So first identify the subjective words from the definition of the topic of the motion and just try to put it them, through the Google. So you again iteratively are on a common battleground and you are iterating those points when you are speaking. That's very, very crucial. So it's not that you two sides are just speaking on totally, it seems to be similar, but they are kind of different. Now related to this, let's talk about government. Correct. How many of this group can sort of give me a stated, like 4 to 5 liner, not liner, 4 to 5 word definition of a government?
On the chat window.
Yes.
What does government mean? Can you
You
just
repeat?
read?
Define government in 4 to 5 words.
What does? And we obviously expect a different answer from the
That are
high
chosen by
schoolers.
the people to govern them. It govern the country, the constitutional and administrative body of a democratic controller.
Anjali, just unmute Kamal sir. I muted him because he was reading. So he's got now enough ammunition to read. Just unmute yourself, Kamal.
Okay. So, just I'm reading few definitions from here. Say Aditi Sham Kumar mentioned by the people, for the people, and to the people. When say by the people, that means that the government has been elected by any form, correct? Whether it's a direct democracy, whether it's indirect democracy like India, or whether it's like direct democracy that people coming together and voting it up like Switzerland. But eventually, the idea of by the people showcase that the government is only and can be put it by some kind of democracy, which kind of is not exactly the definition of government. That's like a part of the government. That's like democracy, and democracy is just only one from the government. We know like countries, say China for example, say Saudi Arabia for example, which have the government but they do not have, say, democracy. So now you look at like government is a very simple term, so it's not very difficult. Every one of you have read it somewhere and says starting from fourth, fifth grade in your social science. But the idea is that our understanding gets somehow biased because what we understand, what system is forming in our country, because we are a democratic country. So we automatically by default believes that the democracy is a government, which actually is not true. So this shows that we need to properly identify those points which can be tricky, so we set a common battleground. That's the key thing. If you've done that, then you need to state them, especially the side which is coming first, especially the side which is speaking for the motion. It's additional baggage on top of them that they have to define the motion in a manner, correct? And if they're done well, they can define such a way that they are in a winning authority, they are in a winning position. But if done well, then they will be in a difficult position because they were not able to state it. That's the part one. Define it. Define. Read topic again and again. Identify what is the first thing. That's one. Now, once you define, then you need to look out the reasons. Correct. That if you are against or for, look out the reasons. Look out the arguments that sort of validates your position. That kind of give the reasons to you, and then split it. For each topic, there can be multiple reasons, but the priorities matter, correct? The priorities matter. The first thing need to become first. And how you decide, say for one thing, there are multiple reasons, multiple arguments, which one to pick one. Look at the impact. If you say it will affect a lot of people, then obviously it matters a lot as compared to just a sect of the population.
Yes, thank you so much. Enough definitions on the government. I just want to summarize for Arnav who's joined in, and for anybody else who's feeling a little lost. We are doing the first masterclass or a good session on preparing you for the Indian Debating League, because we want you to prepare in the first fortnight of September. So Kamal, if you can just keep on the deck only. Right, so these are master classes. 12 of them will happen so that you can all prepare along with us. One session will be about the theory, one session will be about the practice. So today we are doing a theory session, right? And that's what masterclass means for a young friend of ours who asked me. Masterclass is when everybody is together, ideating and learning something together. The competitions will start from 15th onwards. So right now, please use this preparation time. We are asking you to do 1 hour a day at max with us. Right, Kamal? So we can go on forward.
Okay. I guess there are interesting comments that
Yes.
I do want to take, and I will come to it, correct? For example, Ambal Sinha mentioned China has a democracy but a communist party. So look again. So it's about again the definition of democracy. So look at how we are going. We are looking at government, then we are talking about democracy, and then now we are gonna split on the definition of democracy. And how are we gonna split it? How are we gonna split it? That if there are no parties, if there is only one party, will you call that a democracy? If there is no election, will you call that a democracy? That's again, I will reserve my comment, but the idea is that even the definition of democracy will be questioned. And that's the idea of debate, that you go at the top, look at what are the ingredients, and then you go deeper into the ingredients, and ultimately you identify the poles, the points which need to be switched to make you persuasive enough that other side shift their position. Okay. Now, before coming, we will make it very interactive now. We will take some arguments, take some motions, put them, ask you to give your arguments, and we'll try to improve them. And other can see, what's the level of the group that we have, what kind of arguments we are able to form. Now, what kind of argument that we need to form? Very simple principle. First, state your position and define if you feel something is subjective. It's need to find a common battleground. If you feel that you yourself was confused with the definition, then why don't you help others? State your position, stand where you stand. Are you opponent or are you for this motion? Then define if it need to be defined, if you find yourself difficult to understand it. Then give sequential powerful reasons, which is basically arguments, 1, 2, 3, very sequential. They need to be coherent to understand. You can't go out of proportion. Try to be in the sequential manner. And the third, the most important, when you are putting an argument, correct, every argument can be broken down, can be taken down to the rebuttals. That's why you need to also add with some kind of evidence to it, that what you are saying, it actually matters in the real world. Give some evidence if it's primarily, say, data backed debate, or you can see that it has happened somewhere in the world. Say, for example, something about Afghanistan, something about climate change, which is already happening. Now, something which is futuristic. For example, say banning something, correct? For example, if we say ban fast food, what will happen? Either you can take examples from the country who have done it, that's primarily getting the evidence, or if not, then look at the impact. Look how a better world will be there. Let obese people, let disorders. So you are putting a very powerful picture of the world. You're putting the impact out, that if people, everyone believe in my motion, my stand, then the world will be a far better place as compared to what is today. That's the impact. That's the broadly two kind of data or two kind of position that you can share with your argument to defend it. Argument is, what is argument is primarily you giving out reasons that why someone will agree with you, why someone will agree with you. If you say to your friend, I want to go for this movie, you are giving them reason that this has this particular actor, it has this storyline, it has these characters, it's coming from this, the earlier, or it can be anything. Look, it can be director, it can be actor, it can be story, but that you need to decide what is that will persuade your friend. Will your friend shift for going to that movie because of the actor, because of the director, or because of something else? That you need to identify through brainstorming, and then you need to put it across in your limited time. So for the younger category, 4 to 6, we will go with the motion. This house believes that the oceans are living beings. Learn and remember everything. You need to state and stand what side you are, give arguments, and then give some kind of evidence or some kind of impact that it will have. For the senior ones, this house believes that rich should be taxed for their inheritance to equalize wealth. If there is no tax of inheritance, then the world is very unequal. There is a lot of dissimilarity, people. Now, should we put should we put a tax in terms of inheritance, that we might have a better equal world? These are two motions, and we giving you couple of minutes, say 3 minutes, to write your arguments in the chat.
So here is my suggestion to all of you, that first, please don't ping your thought immediately. Think about it. So it is 8:17 in India right now, where we are, majority of us are sitting. Take that 2 minutes, think about what you want to say, and then put your argument. And I have just pasted the C framework, which is state your claim, what are you going to say, put a explanation of the point why you are saying it, and then give an evidence for it. So try to practice with that framework in mind. And for the juniors, we are obviously putting a simpler topic. I'm just pasting it on the chat group for your reference, that this house believes that oceans are living beings. Okay. So should they not have their own rights? Okay. So no, you don't. Ayushi, you don't have to speak. You can go for or against the motion, but put it on the group, right? Fatima, I will come to the question. I have seen the question that you are asking again, but right now we would like you to please focus and practice on these two topics. So grade 4 to 6 students, please just put your motion on this house believes that oceans are living beings. Should they not have their own rights? And for grades 7 to 12, because you can cognitively handle a slightly more difficult topic, please put up your arguments for should we be taxing the rich for their inheritance. Inheritance is what they receive from their parents to equalize the wealth in the society, right? So you can just use the chat group and put 60 to 90 words on what you think. Take that 1 minute. We will patiently wait for you for 2 minutes right now. Okay, so don't put it for the heck of it. Don't put a bad argument. I won't like it because I'm going to call upon names. So put a good one. Adya, no raising of hands. We're going to put it in the chat group. We have 151 of us. We can't handle conversation. We will handle it in our demo debate. Demo debate, we will get you to speak. Okay. Today we are going to do chat. Constructive chat, like a few of you called out. Okay, so take 2 minutes. We are just allowing you to think. Try to put the chat to everyone. No DMs to me, otherwise I will miss them. Just put it to everyone. That's fine. Please put 60 to 90 words. Have you all understood your topics? Lovely. I'm going to repeat it once more. Kamal, can you just keep the topics flash, please? I think that's a fair ask. Maybe we can put it both on the same slide. Just share the slide. Yeah, just put it on the same slide and keep it flashed. I think that's a fair ask. Can you just share slide 17, Kamal? 17. Kamal, just share slide 17. I think it's got hung for him. Yeah. So there, you just share this. They can all watch it. So for younger grades, this house believes that oceans are living beings. So you can now go, yes, I believe this topic, or I don't believe this topic. Give us the explanation, give us the evidence. And for now, because we've not had preparation time, just make it up. That's fine. We won't check what exact statistic are you going to give us. So you can use the chat window to put your 60 to 90 words. So Kamal, what we could do is we could pick up two from each grade category just to share the example.
Yes, we can pick say 3 for each.
Yeah, please go ahead. So what Kamal sir is going to do, he's just going to pick up 3 examples and give you a viewpoint as you are doing a quick round of practice with us.
Sure. So let me go with the younger one. We put my camera on. Yes. Oceans are living things because, Adrit Sharma, 4D, oceans are living things because many of plants are living in it, I believe. Okay, so Adrit, I picked this example primarily like what we need to improve. Correct. And let's go back to the idea. One, we need to put here statement. What is your stated position? And in your case, your stated position coming at the end, correct? So you need to first believe, you tell where you stand. Do you believe that the oceans are living being or not? That's the first thing. Then I guess in this particular thing, what can be sort of questioned or need to be explained, as I put it, that some question need to be defined, even if you understand them as clean, just to make it clear to everyone. That is like living beings, and I'm looking at the examples who have done it well, correct? And the third thing is kind of giving the reasons and then sort of evidence. So oceans are living thing because many of plants and animals are living in it. So you kind of give up a reason, but obviously you could have explained it much more better, correct? But anyway, that's the idea of we being here and trying to improve it. Soham C. Dalal 6C. I do believe that the oceans are living beings. That's a good start. It's very clear. We understand this. He is talking for the motion. He believes in it as a support life. Correct. He primarily says as a support life. So they are kind of living beings. They contain life and contain oxygen for fishes. Without oceans, the rain cycle wouldn't take place. Okay, that's quite interesting. Now look at the first part. I do believe that oceans are living beings. That's primarily I or a Soham putting statement and standing his position. Everyone, it's clear that he's speaking for the motion. As a support life seems not very clear, but he sort of finish it up. They contain life and contains oxygen for fishes. Correct. Or not just for fishes, you can expand it. They contain life and oxygen for all the aquatic animals. So they are kind of livelihood for the aquatic animals, aquatic organisms. And now he put it kind of, you can claim it kind of evidence without, or you can say it's an impact, correct? Without oceans, the rain cycle wouldn't take place and the earth would be a stuck place, correct? So the idea of an impact, that if we don't consider a living being, then the idea that we will not survive without oceans, correct? That's primarily how he has put it, and that's quite interesting. Anyone else? So oceans are living.
Kamal, can we just go back to the slide, the theory slide once more before we evaluate the seniors? Sure. And we'll pick up one or two from 7th to 9th, one or two from the 10th to 12th. Yeah. So state your position. From the first line, I should be able to make out pro or con. Given explanation, what is the argument for you to say that, right? And give evidence. Obviously right now, because we hardly gave you any time, we don't expect you to give numbers and evidence, but that's how simplistic it is for everybody else who had any doubts. Okay, Kamal, so let's pick up 3 from the seniors on inheritance and rich.
Sure. So let's pick both, the one which is good and the one which can be improved. There are so many. Just a second, I guess.
That are good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, wow.
Okay. I'm finding it really sort of.
Okay, just freeze on one and go for it. And no poems right now. We are putting arguments. So I can see poems coming in, but not needed. Not for this round.
Okay, so I'm going with the Ishan Goel, 8th grade. Okay. This house believes that the rich must be taxed for their
don't
inheritance.
paste anymore. Just one second. Just stop pasting right now, because we need you to concentrate on what he's saying. This is like gold, okay? So no more pasting. Just pause, folks.
And maybe if it's possible, at least can we ask Ishan to come and speak his side?
Yeah, Ishan, would you like to speak your argument? Who needs to go on mute? Yeah. Ishan, are you there on the call? I think he cannot hear us. Yes. So Ishan, would you like to say your argument? Kamal, if you can please him, just unmute him.
Okay.
Anjali, just see if you can unmute him.
Just a second.
Ma'am, should I start?
Yes, please.
This house believes that the rich must be taxed for their inheritance to equalize wealth. The society is being really judgmental for not being economically equal. This is leading to economic equality and inequality and further to social inequality. It's not someone's fault to be born as someone's son or daughter who isn't rich enough. It is a partiality against who don't earn much money and hence can't give their children a lot of them. This house believes that the rich must be taxed for their inheritance to equal wealth, and the tax should be donated for charity to those people who are not at an equal economic status. It's the need of the art to think in this direction and make a better society.
Okay, that's a good argument, and he has almost everything in that part. Not just on the last side, he have not finished his argument. That's like say they call it the proper term called breakdown argument. It's like not finished argument. So everything that you mention is primarily falls down to onto one thing, which is primarily that we as a world with a lot of inequality is not good. But why is it so? Why the world will be better when we have more equality? If that was coming in the argument, that would have been much, much more persuasive as an argument, that the world where people are equal or the equality is less is much a better place to live as compared to drastic inequality. But
a wonderful attempt, Ishan, and thank you so much for talking us through it. So Kamal sir saying, put it all together, lovely job, and the reason of whys. Yes, Kamal, we can pick up one from the seniors as well.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the the one for the opponent side.
Yeah.
If you sort of find it out, that would be great. I guess I find it one. Arman Kumar Ramagya School. If we can put Arman unmute, that would be great.
Okay, we are searching for Arman's window. Arman, can you sort of switch on your camera and please raise your hand?
I guess I find Arman. Yeah.
Okay, found him.
So ask to unmute.
Yeah, I can find him. Yeah, I found him.
Yeah, Arman, go.
Yes. Go for it, Arman.
This house believes that there shouldn't be taxes on right of inheritance, as many of the riches want less taxes. That's why there are many cases that the riches immigrate to another country that have lesser taxes, and that is a very big loss for the country, as many of the riches are an asset for a country and will contribute a bigger amount in the GDP, and that will be a bigger loss for the country. And if the thing comes for the equalizing the difference between rich and the poor, this can be done with another policies like making new policies in the form of finance, and the taxes is not an issue, or sorry, tax is not a solution for equalizing. So that is my argument. Thank you.
Okay, that's a nice argument, and let me just extend it for everyone. When you look at this argument, correct, both you heard both the sides, and this is not my argument. This is argument coming from you. So one speaks about that the world will be a better place if there are more equal people, inequality is less, everyone has kind of same kind of resources, the world will be a better place. That's the side for which saying let's tax them more, correct, inheritance tax. Another sign that inheritance will not make more sense, correct, because it's not feasible, it will be degraded to your economy will go down, people will switch to different countries. So look at broadly what are the thing is. One side is the proponent is speaking for kind of idealistic world, correct, that we should look out, discarding all the inequality. The other side is primarily looking at more of the practical approach to the world, that if you try to put taxes to the people who are rich, they're always an option to going to the other country.
even you seize their entire sort of money, they can sort of do it smuggling. You can do every other way. So look at two broad things. This will come much and much, further in the debate. One, purely looking at the theoretical ideal world, and one giving the examples, reasoning for the practical world. And how to play it down actually depends on debate to debate. But it's very crucial that you will also see in your college essays, as you further do debates and ideal out of it. Yeah. So
Kamal, because we have a time check, should we go ahead and tell everyone what the judges will look out for? So I know Amber, I know Adit, you are all raising hands, but this is exactly what we will do is we will put this out on the Ogly app on It's Debatable. It's Debatable is a game on the Ogly app. Go ahead and put your arguments over there. We will be able to read your arguments there after this call as well. And that can be played by the seniors as well, right? I'm very keen to tell them what will the judges look like. What will the rubric?
Just related to it, look, everyone who has not gotten the chance to speak, before you coming to debating, we will give every one of you chance to speak, and we giving you personal feedback. That's why we have devoted time to demo debate for each and every category. You can see. So please be there in your respective category debate, that you will enrich yourself further, because we will able to share personalized opinion, which is quite difficult at this point of time.
Yeah, Kamal, I think I do want to take one student's question, because I think I want you to clarify. Shriparna Sandhu is asking, are we doing 3 versus 3, as in 3 minutes and 3 minutes for proponent, opponent, or are we increasing it to 5 minutes and 7 minutes?
So I guess that's 3, 5, 7 is going to be for the further round. For the round 1, let's make it simple. It's simple. 1 versus 1. Everyone will have 3 minutes. You speaking 3 minutes, your opponent, you again 3 minutes, and your opponent.
Perfect. Got it. So everyone, it's going to be, first round is going to be only 3 minutes. 3 minutes tends to be approximately 60 words a minute, which means 180 words. So some of you would ask, do I have to speak for that much? Do I have to speak less? We would encourage you to speak for at least 180 to 200 words. Prepare for that much, right? Don't speak for 1 minute when you have 3 minutes to speak. Yes, this is the important slide over here. Kamal, over to you.
So, look, every game has rules. Every game has kind of judges, and judges need to be very clear and concise how they will judge something. In case of debating, and more focus at the ideal, and we derive it from World School Debating Championship, the rules, we're going to follow very simple, 3 M's, the matter, manner, the content, and the respective easier definition is also there. Matter means the content. Is primarily the meat of your argument, meat of your speech, meat of what you're speaking. What is the main actual argument you are putting it out? What kind of examples of data or evidence you are giving, or say it happened over there and why it happened. That's primarily the matter, just the content that's come. And in your case, there were multiples matter. And I will give you a definition from your sort of example that will make more sense. All the points that has been put in the chat, I can take them and say what is kind of matter, manner, and method. Obviously, some will not come because these are like verbal, is a chat as compared to the speech. Manner, which not get covered, is primarily how you are putting across. So we'll see, body language. People say 70 to 90% of the communication is the body language. When you want to put something very, very fast, that you want to again put more emphasis. You have emotional prosody, correct? Sometimes you speak loud, sometimes you try to do go slow. So they're different. You try to play with your pitches, your notes, all this coming primarily as a part of manner. Are you moving this side? Are you looking this side? Are you looking that side? Where your body is moving, that's primarily the part of presentation. And again, there's no perfect way, but the idea is that whatever makes your audience, your judges much more comfortable, much more likely to listen to you. If you go very, very monotonous, just sit there and you talk like this, that how good was the speaker's body language and the poise, that what does it mean? The one who's listening will see, the brain will start automatically degrading, in a sense that the locally it will not synthesize or try to go deeper, because you are very monotonous. Now if you try to defend and say that you are playing with your tones, and you can emphasize that this part is much more important as compared to this part. You see how the tones play a role, and there, that's the manner. And the method is primarily, as I mentioned, that the sequential order of the arguments. When we have a matter, correct? So if I give you time 1 hour on every topic, you will go to so many sites and you can identify so many arguments, not just by yourself, but by just the virtue of internet being accessible to you. But the most important thing of a debater is identifying which one is more important in this debate. Second, looking at the other side as compared to their argument, what is more important. So structuring of the argument, so make it easy and make it in a flow. That's the method. And in the method, what is also more important, which is kind of we have seen very much, the students put matter, correct? For example, it happened in case of, say, Ishan, that the world will be a better place if there is less inequality. Now, why is it so? If you don't mention why is it so, and your opponent says that even if the world is equal, it will not be a far better place. And we have seen examples where the world kind seems to be equal in terms of economic prosperity, still they were not as good as we are. That's kind of breaking the sort of favorable argument. So you need to put it, if you are even putting one argument and you're able to elaborate it, that's much good as compared to giving 5 reasons with no mentioning them, no sort of standing why they are so. So you need to elaborate your point, obviously in the limited time span you have. So identifying the key argument is the thing. Key argument need to be defined very clearly. So with that, let me kind of put hold onto my speech.
Kamal, there's a very important question that we have. I missed the name, but the young student is asking, should we be preparing for zero hunger for tomorrow? Aditi Shamkumar from 9A is asking, are we supposed to be prepared for tomorrow's zero hunger? So what is your quick homework for all of them before they join you from 7:30?
It will be great, especially the 7 to 9 students. Prepare for zero hunger. So we look at the major argument. When you are debating, correct, a lot of the times, whatever we are debating is kind of a position somewhere in the world. Maybe say, for example, when we talk about something like Afghanistan, it's happening somewhere. When people say, should AI will take control of us, then we will see there are examples, when our college admission being decided by AI. So we see each and every debate that we do has some kind of real empirical example somewhere. So all these matters. And that's why, and when these happening, and we can look at those examples. So before coming to main debate, if we read it out, know the major argument, then playing with those arguments, which is, level 2. So it will be great if you can, read out, the basic arguments on the both sides of the zero hunger and how other people are solving it.
Correct. And some of you do realize that I can see the chat window and you repasting the argument is not helpful. So don't do this, because we are not playing fastest fingers first. We are playing fastest minds over here. So to answer a few questions I could gather, one is the fact that you please prepare for zero hunger. We will give you the debate topics from 7th of September onwards. We will give you the link to the Ogly app to paste the arguments that you haven't been able to speak about. I think that is it. If there are any more unique questions that you have for the folks who have raised their hands, please feel free to put it on the chat window. But don't pre-paste your earlier arguments, because we are over with that session. What is zero hunger? That's an important question to ask. So Avanish, please download Ogly app. When you download Ogly app, it has a gaming section. Under the gaming section, you will see, Kamal, you can maybe share that slide as well. You can please see the learning space. Learning space will have articles which are related to zero hunger. Otherwise, for the students who are slightly older, it is a sustainable development goal by United Nations, which says, let's make sure that nobody goes hungry, right? Okay, so yes, now the point is, what about prizes? I think prizes is a very important question, Himnesh. From a prize perspective, we are very clear that we want to make sure that you have certificates that are given as you go through the motion. The students who are really good end up going to the next sessions, will get a wildcard entry to compete internationally. So one of the winners of the Ugly Frankenstein tournament went ahead and participated in the regional rounds or to represent India's team. So if you're serious about it, be serious about it, right? Now, high schoolers always appreciate letters of recommendation. So the judges are of international arena. It will look really nice on your story. Yes, of course, we will recognize you on social media. There will be cash prizes and Amazon vouchers for the winners. Okay, right now we are on round 1. We have to do round 3. Okay, so come play that along with us. And we will look forward and we will see you tomorrow. So for 7th to 9th graders, please join back in tomorrow and we will discuss zero hunger. Thank you so much for all of you. If you have any further questions, you will please discipline yourself and drop us a quick email so that we can ask you and tell you. But the important part is to ask us a question that we haven't answered, right? So drop us an email.